Hey, friend, let me ask you a question. Are you allowing the construct of society to define who you are as a man? Now, I'm sure you've been seeing some of the posts, some of the videos that we've been posting as it relates to what is this alpha man, the beta man, the sigma man, the simp man. All of these are cultural labels and titles that are given to men. And so one of the things that we decided to do is in the month of January, we're going to have 3 or 4 episodes talking about the man in the mirror. Who's the man in the mirror? You know, the Bible says in James chapter 1, verse 23 through 25, is that who is this man that looks into the perfect law of liberty and then forgetting what manner of man he was. And so we're going to go through some of these constructs of society. We're going to look at the alpha male, the masculinity male, the sigma male, the beta male, and then what is this simp male. These are all cultural titles that were assessed and are signed or referenced to men. And so we're just going to have a conversation and chop it up. Do me a favor. When we do these conversations, and the first conversation, the first episode is going to be Thursday, I believe that's January the 2nd, at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have a good friend on, Anthony Latson, and he and I are going to chop up this conversation about the man in the mirror. We're going to go through some of these constructs as it relates to men. And so what I encourage men to do is stop allowing society to assign these titles to who you are and how you happen to respond, act, and be as a man. We're going to go through some of these conversations. Some of the things that I've seen as it relates to men is are they too sensitive? Men that cater to their women, cater to their girlfriends, fiancés, wives, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, understand this, a little backdrop on me. I've been married to the same woman for 35 years. As a matter of fact, my wife and I, we've been together for 37 and a half years. So when I talk about relationship, I'm not speaking from the perspective of I read it in a book. I'm telling you from live on the streets. And marriage. Here's what I can say about marriage for those that are interested in marriage and those that are watching this and you are married, is that marriage can be made easy, but it's going to take some work. Marriage can be made easy, but it takes work. And part of the work that I had to do as a man is spend some time discovering who is this man that I call me. What am I allowing this man that I call me to do and say that's contrary or creating a conflict in my marriage and in my relationship? So I had to do some self-discovery. Part of this self-discovery, guys, that I had to do is I had to look back at my past. You know, I'm the product of a single parent home. Now, don't judge me. Don't judge me. I'm the product of a single parent home. And as being the product of a single parent home, my view of leadership, my view of who a father is, it was tainted. Now, my mom did the best that she could as a single mom, but there were 3 of us, my brother and I and my sister. And my brother and I, we were a handful. I know. Let me just speak for myself. I was a handful. And I understand now, looking back on some of the stresses that I placed on my mom and or the stresses that was placed on her as a single woman in an urban setting raising kids. And so I understand those dynamics as a young man. However, one of the things that I was blessed and fortunate to do was to connect with men that helped shape my identity outside of the men or people that I connected with in the locker room or on the streets or that barbershop wisdom. You know, guys, you can relate. You go to the barbershop, you got a favorite barber that you go to. Your barber is just telling you things, or you hear guys in the barbershop sharing about their experiences with women, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I had to filter all of that. My point I'm making, I had to filter all of that. And I had to start asking myself, who is this man that I call Rich? How did I become this man that I call Rich? And what am I allowing this man that I call Rich to do and say that's contrary to who God says this man Rich to be? There were things that I did in my relationship as a man that I didn't realize was creating a conflict. For example, my ideology on money. I had a different idea or ideology as it relates to money than my wife. Now, my wife's backdrop is she's in a home where both parents were there. Unfortunately for her, her father was present, but he was absent. He battled with alcohol and drugs and things of such nature. And she experienced situations where there were traumatic experiences that she witnessed in her mom and her dad. And so those dynamics shaped her ideology as it relates to money. And my ideology from a single parent home, what my mom taught me about money. And so what I discovered was that marriage was a collision of our historical past. And so it was through time, it was through getting wisdom and getting information and getting advice and getting therapy, to help track and help unpack some of the things as it relates to the male identity. And more importantly, recently for me, is the male identity through the lens from a biblical perspective. And so, guys, I want to chop it up on this month. We want to have conversations about this alpha man, this masculinity, this beta man, this sigma man, and then I'm hearing this simp man. If my son is up to the challenge, my son, I'm gonna invite him on it because he's big into, maleism, as I refer to it as. A young man, he'll be 33 next year, and he's preparing to go into the military, and he's working out 2 and 3 times. So he from his perspective, he's a man, right? And so I love having these conversations with him, his way he thinks, his relationships, and he's recently married, and so we're going to unpack that a little bit and get it from his perspective. Um, Being in the home, what he learned in the home, and then what he learned in the street. So it's real important, guys, that you plug into getting information that's going to help shape the identity of the man. Because unfortunately, hey, listen, friend, this is the truth. I'm just coming to you for real, for real. I'm not gaslighting you. I'm not trying to gaslight you. I'm just being for real. Is that the streets or this culture didn't really do a good job of shaping the identity of the man that's in the mirror. So I hope that you join me this month, Thursday night, around 8 o'clock. We're having conversations on in and around the man in the mirror. We have to stop allowing society to give us titles and determine our behavior. We're going to look at is a man, what is it wrong for a man to express his or her? Edit that one out if we can, or like we can, it's not. What if a man that expresses his emotions to his fiance, girlfriend, and wife? Is it negative for a man to be vulnerable and emotional? Talk that up a little bit as well. So hope that you join me this month. January starting January the 2nd. We're going at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, having conversations about the man in the mirror. Let's chop up maleism, masculinity, alpha male, sigma male, beta male, and then who is this simp male? I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully to join me in that conversation. Let's get it.